Right. I have promised you that I will be discussing things from the beginning for the latecomers, as well as the students who were there in the class for last 9 months, last 10 months, sorry, because your exams are closer now. So we are to finish this academic year. Actually, we are moving to the next year now. You have to actually stay home for more than 1 year, no? It's a very long time. So you have not seen your school for a long time. So you might miss it, but still you are aging. Now I think you are 13s, maybe some of and 12s or 13, teenagers, right? Your age is going. So actually you are becoming, you are drawing and you are becoming adults day by day. So we have to face that, right? Therefore, we need to finish this grade and move to the new grade. Actually, we will be moving to the grade in November. That is our calendar. According to that, we will be moving little earlier than your school. So that is in November. So we have to finish our lessons before that. Today, my plan is to discuss our lesson number 1 from the beginning and finish it just within the day. So those who join today are lucky because we are going to discuss everything together from the beginning. The first thing that we are going to discuss is about the central processing unit. That is the brain of the computer. Computer has different parts. So that we learn in the grade 6. If you join with the grade 6 class today, then you have learned, I think if you were there in the grade 6 class, you have learned that the computer basically it has several components, different components, including input devices, output devices, storage devices, and also communication devices, memory. So those are the components of the computer. I think we learned those. If you're not there in the class, so then I have remembered that now, right? The brain or the central processing unit is the most important part for the computer. So it's a chip actually. Central processing unit is it's a microcontroller, microchip. It's not microcontroller, basically a chip. CPU is connected to a socket. So let me show you an image. So this is how it looks like. CPU socket. CPU socket. See how the CPU socket looks like. See how the CPU socket looks like. Right? So CPU socket, basically it's there in the motherboard, and you can see this CPU is the chip. This is the chip which is in your hand. Right? That should be connected to this socket. This circuit board is called motherboard. මේ motherboard එකට තමයි CPU socket එක connected. CPU එක තමයි අපේ computer එකේ brain එක. මොළය වගේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. That is main component of your computer. Basically, you have one socket in your motherboard, but there are some motherboards having multiple sockets. So here, this motherboard, a special motherboard, having 2 sockets. You can see. These are normally coming in gaming motherboards. Sometimes these are coming in workstation, server motherboard. එක powerful computers වල තමයි මෙහෙම එන්නේ. Socket දෙකක්. Socket දෙකට වැඩියෙත් එනවා. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපේ වේ තියෙන එක socket එකයි. In our computer, in my computer, in your computer, basically we have only one socket. Right? So that is the nature of CPU. හැබැයි සමහර අය CPU එක කියනවා මේකට system unit එකට. ඒක වැරදි. Some are calling CPU to this unit, and that is wrong. This is not CPU. This is system unit. Inside the system unit, inside this motherboard, මේ system unit එකේ මේ තියෙන motherboard එකේ මේ fan එකටත් යටින් තමයි, underneath of this fan you can see the central processing unit. Right here In this one also, you can see there's a fan. This fan is cooling our brain, similar to the hair, which is cooling our brain. So similar to that, you have a fan, which is cooling the computer's brain. Underneath of that, you can see the CPU, central processing unit. Okay, now you have an idea where CPU is there. And next thing is here. So next thing is in CPU, what you can see. CPU has ALU, arithmetic and logical unit, which can be used for calculations. And CPU has a control unit, which can send the control signals. And it has memory also. CPU has arithmetic and logical unit. Arithmetic and logical unit, basically arithmetic unit is responsible for calculations. Additions, divisions, subtractions, multiplications are done using arithmetic and logical unit. එකතු කිරීම, අඩු කිරීම, බෙදීම, වැඩි කිරීම වගේ දේවල් තමයි ALU එක කරන්නේ. Not just that, it has a logic part which does the comparison. Comparison means whether it's checking whether it's less than, or it's greater than, or is equal to, or is not equal to. Likewise, it's checking and comparing things. So the එකතු කිරීම, අඩු කිරීම, වැඩි කිරීම, බෙදීම වගේ ගණිතමය ක්‍රියාවලියට අමතරව CPU එක මොනවද කරන්නේ? සංසන්දනාත්මකව compare කරනවා. මොනවද? Greater than, විශාලද, less than or equal, not equal, නේද? ඒ වගේ සමානද, විශාලද, කුඩාද, කුඩා හෝ සමානද, ඒ වගේ compare කරන ඒවත් කරන්නේ ALU එක. CU is similar to a traffic police. Have you seen traffic police in junction? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So have you seen traffic police, police officers? Are they driving in the junction or are they just staying there?
Just staying there.
Just staying, right? Just staying and see what's happening. And they're basically giving signals. Okay, go right side, go left, go forward, come here and go forward. Stop now. Likewise, they're signaling. They're not driving. So similar to that, CU is not controlling. Right? CU is like traffic police, signaling the other components. Hey, boy, go reverse, stop now. Now you can go. So likewise, it can symbol, it can give signals. It can instruct, it can give a signal to input device. Now take the input. It can signal output device. Now show it in the. So likewise, it can tell what to do, but the duty is with the driver, duty is with the particular hardware component. This is just like traffic police officer. It just send in signals, control signals, that's all. And the memory register. In the other hand, memory register is the memory in your computer. Okay, I'll take another example, which is simple one. Let's say, okay, I don't have very, let's take this. So let's think this as a biscuit. Make a biscuit, biscuit plastic. So let's think this as a biscuit. This is now in my hand. I'm going to eat this. That can't plastic. This is now in my hand. Now in my hand means it's like memory. Memory එකේ තියෙනවා වගේ තමයි මගේ අතේ තියෙනවා කියන්නේ. memory එක කියලා කියන්නේ මම RAM එකට. ඊට පස්සේ මම මේකෙන් කෑල්ලක් කඩාගෙන කනවා. කෑල්ලක් කඩා ගන්නවා. ඒ කඩපු කෑල්ල යන්නේ මගේ කට ඇතුළට. It's going inside my mouth. When I take a piece of biscuit, it will move inside my mouth. My mouth is like cache memory. But it is not mentioned here. But there's a memory inside the processor. That memory is called cache memory, CACHE, not money cache, not this money cache. It is cache. Cache means storage cache. When I take a piece of biscuit, it will move inside my mouth, similar to its move into the cache memory. Now it is inside the processor. Now it is to be processed. How processor process this? Actually, the mouth, it has different kind of components. You have tongue, saliva, and teeth. Basically, you used to chew that, or you used to mix that using saliva, and you used to tear that into pieces and then mix it well using TP. It's like your registers. The memory registers are similar to your TP. You have 32, similar to that in a computer also. Mostly there are 32 registers. It's easy to remember. Mostly, but there are sometimes there are more than that. More than 32 registers. General purpose registers, basically there are 32, 64 can be. So registers are small memory cells. අර දත්වල තියෙන ඉඩ වගේ චූටි ඉඩක් තියෙනවා. There's a small space in these registers. These registers are used to keep things while processing. Process කරන ගමන්, ඒ කියන්නේ හපන ගමන් දත් ඇතුලේ දේවල් දත්වල තියා ගන්නවා වගේ. When it is processing, similar to how you eat, when it is processing, it keeps inside the registers. But the space here, the mouth, that is called cache memory, which is not listed here. But there's a cache memory in your processor. Processor has two memories. One is cache memory, the second one is register memory. Both memories together we call static random access memories, static RAMs. And the general memory is called dynamic random access memory, dynamic. The general memory is dynamic. The memory inside the processor is static. Okay, so let's see this with the evidences. I would like if someone can share the screen now, because I can show you the evidences. I'll give 3 students a chance. Those who like, you can take the chance. I'd like if you can give that chance to a newcomer, then they can learn. So who's going to share the screen now? First come, first serve. You can take the chance and serve it. Get the chance. Okay. Dulnita has taken the chance. So I would like if a newcomer can take, but anyway, okay, I'll show you it using his machine. Others can follow him. First of all, Dulnita, I will show you, this is the taskbar of your operating system. Yes, Basuru, you can. Mobile phone screen, again, there's a problem, Basuru. Mobile phone screen එක මේක බලන එක වෙනස්. මේ විදියට කරන්න බෑ. හැබැයි බලන්න පුළුවන් mobile phone screen එකේ settings වලට ගියාම බලන්න පුළුවන්. Okay, now you can see the taskbar. When you can click this, right click on this taskbar, මෙතන right click කරන්න. In a blank place, you can right click. Please right click. And then you can see there's something called task manager. Task manager, you have to select that. Select the task manager. Yes, select the task manager. Yes, that is. After selecting task manager, you will see, right? After selecting the task manager, you will see this one. This is called task manager. Sometimes you will see the fewer details. Can you click on the fewer details? Sometimes your task manager will load with fewer details. So like this. Can you click on the fewer details, please? Fewer detail, can you go to click on fewer details in the below? No. Okay. Maybe they didn't pull. Sometimes your task manager can appear like this. But don't worry, you can click on more details and get the large one. In Windows XP and Windows 7, this has a different look, right? But don't worry about that as well. 7 XP වලත් තියෙන පොඩක් look එක වෙනස්. ඒක හිතන්න. Okay, now let's go to the performance. Performance කියන tab එකට යන්න. Let's go to the performance. Heshan, yes, you can share the screen. I'll give you the chance next. Okay, please go to the performance, Dulnita, please go to the performance tab, the second one. Okay, now you can see your CPU. I think others can see the same. The CPU is 11th generation Core i5, that is the brand, and that is the brand label given to this. But you can see it has one socket කියලා කියන්නේ එක තැනයි CPU එක ගහන්න තියෙන motherboard එකේ. And it has 4 cores. මේක මම කියලා දෙන්න. Cores 4ක්. It has 4 cores. One socket, 4 cores. 4 cores means physically it has 4 processing units, ALUs. 4 processing ALUs physically they are inside that single chip. එක chip එකයි තියෙන්නේ මේ වගේ. ඒ chip එක ඇතුලේ inside the single chip It is invisible, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4 processing units. It's like you have one kitchen and 4 chefs. Eka kitchen ekaka chef la 4 denek innawa wage. That means you can cook super faster because you have 4 chefs. Fast unata nastiyak gadi. So that will be faster. Having 4 chefs in one kitchen will be faster. But too many cooks spoils the soup. So similar to that, but that will not happen in the computer. Too many cooks will not spoil the soup. But in computer, if you have one processing unit, one socket, and inside 4 cores, physically you have 4 processing units, will be faster. Just double click again. Right, okay. Again. Then these 4 processors, these 4 chips are working like 8. 4 chips are working like 8. 8 chips. 4 dena inno 4 dena වැඩ කරනවා 8 දෙනෙක් වගේ. So that is possible, right? Sometimes you can see your mom is working in the kitchen. Your mom occupied, maybe doing some work, maybe cooking in the kitchen, and she used to tell that නේද? මම මේ දෙතුන් දිනක වැඩ කරන ගමන් ඉන්නේ. I'm doing 2-3 things together. I'm working like 2-3 people. So mostly that is the complaint come from your mom. Do it by yourself, Pute, because I'm doing 2-3 works. I'm really occupied with 2-3 works. So it's like multiple logical processes. Then you can tell your mom, yes, mom, you have one socket, but I can see, so this is one core because I have only one mother. So I have one core, but working like 4 logical processes, or working like 2 logical processes. So maybe you have mother and father both working in the kitchen. Rarely happens, right? Mother and father both working at kitchen. That means 1 kitchen, 2 chefs, and they are working like 4. Maybe they are really busy with preparing some special meal to celebrate something. Okay, just an example. Right, then the cache memory, you can see here. The cache memory, 320 cache, L1 cache, L2 cache, L3 cache, 3 caches are there in this computer. Don't change its size again and again, then others will confuse Pute. So keep it in the same size. Okay, this is level 1 cache, level 2 cache, level 3 cache. You can see 3 caches are there. The cache memory is the memory inside processor, as I said. And registers you cannot see here. You can see the sockets, cores, logical processors, but not the registers. There's another way to see the performance of your computer. The second way is you can press Windows key and R key together. Can you press it? Okay. After that, you can type MSINFO32 and press enter. MSINFO32 and press enter. Or you can type DXDIAG and press enter. Then also you can see the performance of your computer. So let's say MSINFO32. MSINFO32 will also show your performance. You have i5 processor. Can you just double click here? Oh, not there. MSINFO32, please. MSINFO32 එකට යන්න පුතේ වෙනස් කරන්න එපා window එක because I'm drawing in your screen, so it's like unpleasant to the others. Please go to MSINFO32 and then in MSINFO32 can you double click in this, or can you click on this processor කෙනෙකුට click කරන්න. Just click on the processor and then you can see here 4 cores, 8 logical processors. 4 cores, 8 logical processors. 4 දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා 8 දෙනෙක් වගේ වැඩ කරන්නේ. Okay, let's move to someone else now. Then කාටද screen එක share කරන්න ඕන කිව්වේ, you can share the screen.
Sir, task manager එකේ අර යටින් මේ performance එකේ process එක තියෙන වෙලාවක් පෙන්නන්නේ. Uptime.
අපෝ යන්න task manager එකට. Can you go to the task manager? Click කරලා යන්න බලන්න task manager එකට. How to go to the task manager? You can click on the taskbar and select the task manager. Right click here and select the task manager. Hello, can you do that? You have to right click in the taskbar and select the taskbar. I think something wrong with the screen, Steam struggling. Can someone else share the screen, please? Can someone else share the screen?
He's struggling.
Yeah, I think. පුළුවන් නේද share කරන්න බැයිද? I think you can. Try it. Who's going to share? No one. Right, if no one, then I can share my screen. So this is chance to you. However, recommend I got a chance again. I would like if this is taken by a girl. Is there any girls who would like to share the screen?
Can you see my screen?
Hey Shani, yes, you can share it. Just share it. Use the share property and share it. Then I can see. Still no one shared. How would net I'll share? All right. Now, still loading. Yes, now I can see. Right. This is Mac OS. Right, this is Mac OS. In Mac OS, basically you have to go to the Apple button there. In the Apple button, you can go to System Preferences. Sorry, about this Mac. Sorry, about this Mac. In Apple button, about this Mac. The first one. When you go to about this Mac, you can see the details of your computer. It's having dual core Intel i5 with an 8 GB memory in your computer. And then you can see this further by moving to System Report. When you go to System Report, you can see a lot of details. Your computer is i5. It's having one socket and it's having 2 cores. Right? Can you see? One processor, 2 cores. And you can see the L2 and L1 cache memories of your processor as well as the random access memory. Okay. So then I think someone else can share the screen. Now you saw how Mac user can see their performance. Any Linux user to join the party? The Linux then we can see in the Linux also. Any computer you can see, right? Don't worry. In any computer, all these features are there. Can you right click here in the taskbar and select the task manager? Yes, when you go to the task manager, then you can move to the more info. Sorry, more info is already there. Performance. There you can see in this computer performance. Yes, more details. Yeah, more details, performance. And you can see in this computer you have 2 cores working like two physical cores working like 2 logical processors. ඇත්තටම කියන්නේ දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්නවා කිචන් එකේ.
කියන්නකෝ.
හරි දෙන්නෙක් ඉන්නවා. ඒ දෙන්න වැඩ කරන්නේ දෙන්නෙක් විදියටම තමයි. වැඩි මහන්සි වෙන්න. මොකද දෙන්න මෙහෙ දෙන්නෙක් විදියට වැඩ කළාත් ඔයාට පේනවා processor utilization is 100%. Oh, so dangerous නේද? 100%ම busy. ආයේ ඉතින් කතා කරන්නවත් වෙලාවක් නැහැ processor එකට. පොඩ්ඩක් computer එක පොඩ්ඩක් නෙමෙයි හොඳටම slow ඇති. මේ තියෙන ඔව්.
Sir, why is that showing a time? Uptime?
Uptime. You're asking this one. Uptime is basically when you after you turn on the machine. So actually practical usage time of this CPU. කොච්චර වෙලා එක අප් වෙලා තිබ්බද කියන එක. Available time. Right? Uptime of the CPU. You can get an idea about the CPU whether the CPU is tired or CPU is heated. Tired වෙන්නේ නැහැ සාමාන්‍ය තත් වෙලාද ඒ වගේ idea එකක් ගන්න. You really need this timing. Okay.
කොච්චරක් විතර පාවිච්චි කරන්නද?
ඒක depend වෙනවා පුතේ. processor එක අනුව depend වෙනවා. processor එක සමහර processors තියෙනවා powerful ගොඩක් වෙලා කිසිම අවුලක් නැති. ඕනම processor එකක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 24කින් එහා පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Not a big issue. But sometimes some processors, maybe a small atom processors, mobile processors are getting some more heat. To check that, you have this feature. the available time, uptime and all. Okay, who's going to share next? Anyone else wish to share? I can give the chance again.
Excuse me, sir. I can ask questions.
Sure, you can ask.
Sir, මම කලින් ස්ක්‍රීන් එක ෂෙයා කරපු එක්කෙනා සර් මගේ CPU එක යූස් වෙන්නේ සාමාන්‍යයෙන් 160 ගාණක් යූස් වුණත් හරියට මේ ලැප් එක හීට් වෙනවා. ගොඩාක් හීට් වෙනවා.
Yeah, that can happen. That can happen. Maybe it's due to fan failure, fan speed failure. So there are several reasons, right? එකම දේ නෙවෙයි ගොඩාක් හේතු තියෙන්න පුළුවන්. fan එකක් රත් වෙනවා, fan එකක් මේව වෙන්නේ නැහැ, heat sink එක නැත්නම් CPU එකේ heat එක උරා ගන්න heat sink එකක් කියලා දෙනවා. ඒක හරියට වැඩ කරන්නේ නැතුව. So those are the reasons. That is dangerous. That is dangerous means that is not good for the health of the computer. Better you can check that.
Sir,
Okay. I'll show this one also and then come to the questions, right? Okay, Mauli, again, please go and right click there and also select the task manager. And when you select the task manager, you can see the performance section. There you can go and see the performance of your computer, which is having one socket, one physical processor, which is having hexa cores, 6 cores, and working as 12 logical processors. That is really, really good performance. You have one socket, a socket, a physical processors higher, 6 cores. This computer setting is very good for graphic editing, animation, video editing, like things. So it's having a good performance because it's working as 12 processors. If you want to see all 12 processors, what you can do is you can right click there and change draft to, right click, change draft to logical processors. And then you can see how all 12 processors are occupied. And utilization is around 10%, 8% means your computer is not generating much heat. Computer utilization adui. And yes, that is the nature of your computer. You can see the cache memory, L1 cache, L2 cache, and L3 cache. So this is the memory inside the processor. And this is the dynamic random access memory. Random access memory කියන්නේ මේක. RAM කියලා කියන්නේ, DRAM කියලා කියන්නේ second එකට. ඒක 8 GB නේද? You can click that memory. When you click on the memory, you can see the memory utilization is little bit high. So this can give you trouble. The make a water pay, it's a right 8 GB available, but 6.3 GB already used. Means you have only 1.5 GB available. What will happen in this computer? When you try to open several programs, the program open can you open Excel? Can you open Excel? Mauli, can you open Excel in your computer? If it is there. Or can you open BlueStacks? Just open BlueStack. Something that you can see. When you open that, you can see මොනහරි අලුත් දෙයක් එනකොට memory එක තමයි ඒකට allocate වෙන්නේ. Okay, now minimize it. Just minimize the BlueStack and you can see the memory is going up. Can others see? මම කියන ඕනම දෙයක් එන්නේ memory එකට. දැන් ඔය එක ගන්නකොටම මේ memory එක ඔන්න මම circle එකක් අඳිනවා, it's going up. Now you have only, right? When you are running BlueStacks here, you have only 348 MB available for your usage because BlueStack has taken the memory. Now, if you try to open some other program, your computer will slow down. So that is another reason. The memory card will computer slow. When you close BlueStack, you can see it's giving you memory. Right? මේව ඔයාලට තනියෙන් හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් පුතේ. ප්‍රශ්න. CPU එක වැඩියෙන් යනවාද? ඒක රත් වෙන්නේ සමහරට වැඩි utilization එකක් ඉන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. When you how you can see that, you can go to the processor. Go to the processors. And if your computer is, someone was asking this, if your computer is using more CPU, just click on CPU. You can see which programs are using the CPU mostly. So actually Zoom is using, in your computer, Zoom is using more CPU power, and then the system and Discord some amount, the task manager some amount, and I've asked very little amount. That is good. But if someone check, so I had one person here, one student, you had like 100% utilization. You can check who's using that memory. Sometimes a virus can use that, right? Virus එකක් use කරනවා වෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. ඉතින් චුට්ටක් එක බලන්න. මෙතනත් බලන්න memory එක කවුද නිකන් වැඩිපුර. Can you click on the memory and it will be sorted. Then you can see who's using the memory. Opera browser is using 1 GB. Oh, bad Opera. It's using 1 GB, but it's not bad. But so just tell it, just say it, right? So Opera is using more memory, and then the Zoom, then the Discord, then Google Chrome. Google Chrome is innocent here, right? Opera is using, maybe you have opened several windows in Opera. That's the reason, right? So likewise, you can analyze your own computer and see who are eating your memory, who are eating your processor.
Sir,
Yes.
we can speed CPU by update speed by click on V1, go to update speed, then click on high, then speed up computer.
Which one to take? In the performance.
In task manager, task manager, by clicking this one.
A view. Okay. Then.
Yes. Then you have to go update speed. Then click on update speed.
Yeah, so you can just update,
on high.
Prioritize, right? You can prioritize update speed, and you can speed, maybe select high.
Then CPU is going very fastly.
Yes, so that is like the clock speed and this updating speed of the CPU. So that means but that is not changing the physical speed of the CPU, right? So physically it's having the same speed. That is just changing the view of that. Right? Just changing the view, but not the physical speed. It remains same, right? Don't think that the physical speed is the physical speed. So that can be optimized, but that cannot be like accelerated like this. Can be acceleration is possible up to the physical limit of the CPU only. Accelerate කරන්න පුළුවන් physics. දැන් අපි හිතමු මෙහෙම වාහනයක් තියෙනවා. මේ වාහනේ support කරන්නේ 60 kmph. එතකොට අපිට ඒක අප්ඩේට් කරන්න පුළුවන්, accelerate කරන්න පුළුවන් එක එක විදියට. හැබැයි 60 වලින් එහාට යනකොට ඒක අර ඒ true performance අපිට හරියට හම්බෙන්නේ. But we have to change the engine. Similar to that, we have to change the CPU. So that is the thing. So you can change the view of that. Yes, that is correct. By changing the view as high speed, you can change the speed of that. Okay, that is the to change, and so you can see how it looks like. You can change the view and see how it looks like. Okay. Then ALU, CU, memory registers, and we learn about that, and we learn about the duty of ALU and also the CU. And then we learn about the duty of memory registers. And then finally, we have to come to the discussion about how CPU speed has changed over the time. So in the first generation computers, 1GL in the first generation computer, now you see what is the multiple core processors. I think you have in your note, this is what showing the multiple core processors, right? You can see the dual core, single core processors. So this is the summary, and here if you see here, so central processing unit like a chef in a kitchen. If a chef prepares food, the central processing unit processes data similar to that. So sometimes food preparation speed depend on the number of speed of the chef. And also, if there are two chefs, so they can prefer 2 meals. Similar to that, when there are when there are high amount of processor cores, your processor speed will be high. So similar to that 2 chefs, 4 chefs, 8 chefs, 16 chefs scenario. Okay, let's go back. So go down and let's see the generation part now. The generation number one was using, so this is actually first generation computers. I would say the control room, because this is important. Control room, which is similar to the keyboard of the current keyboard. So this is how it looks like in earlier days. You can see the size of keyboard. So this is actually number of keys, number of switches. This is size of control room, the main room, control room. Today, this is similar to your keyboard, mouse, and input devices and the output devices, peripherals. This is how it looks like in earlier days. So a lot of wires, a lot of switches, right? They are saying closer to like 5 million hand soldered joints. අතින් පාස් අපු wire තියෙන තැන් මිලියන 5ක් විතර තිබ්බා කියලා කියනවා. So very large amount. And basically computer, you cannot move from one place to another place because computer is, it's a building. So if someone say, I have a computer, means it's a building because the control room is similar to a garage size room. The control room is a large room, means the computer is the building. So if you want to move the computer from one place to another place, you have to move the building. So that is infeasible. And that generation, computers were using, like the speed was measured in millisecond. And these are some examples, and they use something called vacuum tubes as the main processing element. Vacuum tube. So that is a few inches long, like half feet, few inches long component, vacuum tube. They have used vacuum tubes for as the processing element. This is the smallest unit in the process. Now you cannot see the vacuum tubes, right? So those are not, they are in these days computers. But instead of that, you can see transistors. So you can see, let's compare the vacuum tubes, transistors, and IC. Actually, using several vacuum tubes together, so joining several vacuum tubes together, transistor can be created. Several transistors together, by combining several transistors, it is possible to create IC, integrated circuit. So generation to generation, this is how it evolved. First generation vacuum tubes, second generation transistors, third generation integrated circuits, and the fourth generation, it's large scale integration and very large scale integration. And now in the fifth generation, we are using ultra large scale integration. Ultra large scale integration. This is how it evolves from the first generation